I was looking at census data last week when something stopped me cold. A town in Polk County, population 2,000 in 2010, just hit 18,000. That's a 900% increase. Not a typo, 900%. I started digging. Davenport, Florida. Never heard of it, right? But 100 families move there every month. New schools opening, new fire stations, infrastructure that most cities take decades to build, they're doing in years. And it hit me. The Florida everyone talks about, the Florida in the headlines, the Florida with the million-dollar beach houses, that's not where the actual growth is happening. The real Florida boom is happening in 3 places most people will never Google. Until it's too late. Until the prices triple and the secret's out. So, let me show you these 3 cities before that happens. Before we go any further, do me a favor. If you're tired of those Florida videos that just regurgitate the same 5 cities over and over, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Naples, if you're tired of advice that feels like it was written 5 years ago, hit that like button right now. And subscribe, because I'm not here to waste your time with surface-level information that you could find on any real estate blog. I'm here to show you the Florida that's actually growing, right now, in real time, before everyone else figures it out. The data-driven stuff, the census numbers, the infrastructure investments, the places where your money could actually mean something instead of just disappearing into an overpriced market. So, if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Here's the truth that real estate agents won't tell you. The best cities in Florida aren't always the best for you. When someone says move to Florida, most people immediately think Miami, Tampa, Orlando. The big names, the famous ones. And those cities are fine if you're okay with $500,000 starter homes, traffic that makes you want to scream, and neighborhoods where everyone arrived 5 years before you did. But here's the reframe. The most valuable cities in Florida right now aren't the ones everyone's already talking about. They're the ones experiencing such explosive growth that most people don't even know their names yet. I'm talking about places where the population has doubled in 4 years. Brand new schools, hospitals, and fire stations are opening every year. You can still buy a home for under $400,000. The job growth is projected to be 30 to 50% over the next decade. Master-planned communities are being built from scratch, meaning everything is new, designed, and modern. This video is for anyone who's tired of feeling priced out, crowded out, or left out of the Florida dream. The core pain this addresses is simple. It's the myth that you have to choose between affordability, growth, and livability in Florida. People think you either get the expensive, established city with all the amenities, or you get the cheap town in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. But that's not true anymore. The unique insight here is this. The fastest growing cities in Florida aren't growing because of what they are. They're growing because of what they're becoming, and you can still get in early. What you're about to learn are the 3 cities where Florida's real growth is happening right now, why they're growing so fast, and what that means for anyone considering a move before prices catch up with demand. So let's talk about what's actually happening in Florida right now. Florida added more residents than any other state from 2020 to 2024. Over 1 million people. But here's what the headlines miss. The growth isn't evenly distributed. It's not happening in Miami or even all of Orlando. It's concentrated in specific pockets. Cities and communities that are exploding so fast that the census data can barely keep up. These aren't beach towns. They're not retirement villages. They're family-oriented, job-creating, infrastructure-building boom towns, and they're rewriting what it means to move to Florida in 2025. Let me show you the 3 that matter most. Number 1, Westlake, Florida, the city that didn't exist, Palm Beach County. 2020 population, 1,050. 2024 population, 7,664. That's a 630% growth rate in 4 years. Let's start with the most dramatic story on this list. Westlake, Florida is not a city that slowly grew over generations. It's a master-planned community that was designed from nothing. Open land, cattle ranches, empty space. And then Minto Communities, one of the most respected developers in Florida, decided to build an entire city. And I mean entire. We're talking 3,800 acres. Capacity for 6,500 homes. 2.2 million square feet of retail, restaurants, and office space. A 15-acre adventure park with a resort-style lagoon pool, water slides, basketball courts, a BMX pump park. Schools walking distance from homes. A Publix, a Starbucks, a KFC. Everything planned. Everything new. Everything designed for families who want modern suburban living without the chaos of older cities. Here's what makes Westlake different. It's intentional. This isn't a town that happened to grow. It's a town that was engineered to be livable from day one. The roads make sense. The parks are everywhere. The schools are brand new. There's no decades-old infrastructure falling apart. It's all being built right now. Westlake has climbed to the 24th ranking among America's top 50 master-planned communities, with homes starting in the 300s, and it grew by over 630% from 2020 to 2024. Think about that for a second. 630%. That means for every 10 people living there in 2020, there are now 73 people. That's not growth. That's explosion. And the thing is, when you drive through Westlake, you can feel it. Everything is clean. Everything is new. The paint isn't chipping. The sidewalks aren't cracked. The streetlights all work. It sounds basic, but if you've lived in an older city, you know how rare that actually is. Most cities have layers of history, old neighborhoods next to new developments, some areas maintained, some neglected. Westlake doesn't have that problem because it's all being built at the same time, with the same standards by the same developer. There's a consistency to it that you don't find in organic growth. Now let's be real about what you're getting. This isn't downtown Miami. There's no nightlife. There's no art scene. If you need cultural diversity and late-night food spots and independent bookstores, Westlake is going to bore you. This is a family suburb, strollers and soccer practice and neighborhood cookouts. But if that's what you're looking for, if you want a safe, clean, modern place to raise kids or just live quietly without drama, Westlake is hard to beat. And the fact that you can still get in for under $400,000 while it's still growing, that's the opportunity. Because in 5 years, when all 6,500 homes are built and the community is complete, those prices aren't staying in the 300s. But Westlake isn't the only Florida city being built from scratch. There's another one further north where the growth isn't planned. It's organic, and that's a very different kind of opportunity. Number 2, Davenport, Florida, the accidental boomtown, Polk County between Orlando and Tampa. 2020 population, 9,730. 2025 population, 18,522. That's a 90% growth rate in 5 years. Davenport is the opposite of Westlake. It wasn't designed, it just happened. 50 years ago, Davenport was citrus groves. Orange trees as far as you could see. Then the citrus industry collapsed. Freezes, diseases, foreign competition. The groves died and the land sat there, waiting. And then in the 2010s, something shifted. Orlando and Tampa home prices started climbing. People who worked in those cities couldn't afford to live there anymore. So they started looking outward, and Davenport, sitting right between the two on Interstate 4, became the answer. For every person leaving Davenport, approximately 2.32 individuals are moving in. 100 families every month. New schools opening, a new fire station, a new wastewater plant. The city opened a new community center, fire station, police department, and city hall, all within a 6-year span. Think about that. A city hall, a police department, a fire station, a community center. All new. All within 6 years. That's not normal city growth. That's a city scrambling to keep up with demand. The median home price is around $365,000, significantly cheaper than Orlando or Tampa, but the quality of life is improving fast. New retail, new restaurants, new infrastructure. And the job growth is projected at over 40% in the next decade. 40%! That means if there are 10,000 jobs in Davenport today, there will be 14,000 jobs in 10 years. That's not speculation, that's projection based on current trends, but Here's the catch. Davenport wasn't ready for this. The roads are still catching up. The traffic is real. Some schools are overcrowded. This is a city in the middle of a transformation, which means there are growing pains. If you move to Davenport right now, you're not moving to a finished product. You're moving to a work in progress. And that's either exciting or frustrating depending on your personality. But it also means there's opportunity. Because 5 years from now, when all that infrastructure is finished, Davenport won't be the affordable option anymore. It'll be the established suburb with the completed infrastructure and the higher price tag to match. And here's the interesting thing about Davenport. It's not trying to be fancy. It's not trying to be a master-planned utopia like Westlake. It's just a normal town that got caught in the middle of a housing crisis and ended up being the solution for thousands of families who wanted more space and lower prices. There's something honest about that. It's not manufactured. It's not marketed. It's just real people making real decisions about where they can afford to live and still have a decent quality of life. The vibe in Davenport is working class in the best way. People who commute to Orlando for work but don't want to pay Orlando prices. Families who need yards and good schools and safe streets without breaking the bank. It's not glamorous, but it's functional, and sometimes functional is exactly what you need. Westlake was designed, Davenport happened by accident. But there's a third city on this list that's different from both. It's not new, it's not accidental. It's a suburb that quietly became one of the fastest growing communities in Florida, and almost nobody outside Tampa knows its name. Number 3. Wesley Chapel, Florida, the stealth suburb. Pasco County, 20 miles north of Tampa. 2020 population, 60,534. 2025 population, 74,995. That's a 24% growth rate in 5 years. Wesley Chapel doesn't announce itself. There's no grand entrance, no famous landmarks. It's just quietly excellent. Wesley Chapel is growing at a rate of 2.83% annually, with a median household income of $107,004, well above the Florida average. This isn't a cheap place to live, but it's not expensive compared to what you get. What you get is this: beautiful neighborhoods, top-rated schools, 2 new hospitals, Baycare Hospital Wesley Chapel and Advent Health Wesley Chapel, ensuring residents have access to high-quality medical care. Shopping, restaurants, a 20-minute drive to downtown Tampa, Interstate 75 access, and a community that feels complete. Wesley Chapel didn't explode overnight like Westlake. It didn't scramble to catch up like Davenport. It grew steadily, thoughtfully, and now it's one of the most desirable suburbs in the Tampa Bay area. The challenge is that some schools are operating at over 120% capacity, and traffic is becoming an issue. But the county is investing heavily in infrastructure to keep pace. And unlike Davenport, Wesley Chapel has the tax base and resources to handle it. The median household income of $107,000 means there's money flowing into the local economy. That means better schools, better roads, better services. It's a positive feedback loop. High-income residents move in. Property taxes increase. Infrastructure improves. More high-income residents want to move in. What makes Wesley Chapel special is that it's not the cheapest, it's not the flashiest, but it's balanced. Families love it. Young professionals love it. Retirees love it, because it has everything you need without feeling overwhelming. You've got the Tampa outlets for shopping. You've got restaurants and gyms and coffee shops. You've got 2 major hospitals if something goes wrong. You've got access to Tampa if you need the big city. But you also have quiet streets and good schools and neighbors who wave at you. It's suburban living done right. And here's the thing that people miss about Wesley Chapel. It's not growing because it's cheap. It's growing because it's good. The people moving there aren't doing it because they got priced out of somewhere else. They're doing it because they want to be there. That's a fundamentally different kind of growth. It's sustainable, it's stable, and it means that even when the market cools down, Wesley Chapel will probably keep growing, because the demand is based on quality, not just price. Now let's zoom out for a second. What do these 3 cities have in common? Here's what Westlake, Davenport, and Wesley Chapel all share. First, they're growing faster than almost anywhere else in America, not just Florida. America. These are cities where the population is surging, infrastructure is being built, and opportunities are being created in real time. Second, they're not beach towns, and that's exactly why they're affordable. You're not paying for ocean views. You're paying for quality of life, space, and access to jobs. Third, they're family-oriented. New schools, new parks, safe neighborhoods. These aren't party towns or retirement villages. They're places where people are building long-term lives. And fourth, they're still attainable. For now. But the window is closing, because once everyone else figures out what's happening in these cities, the prices will follow. So here's where we are. Florida is growing. Fast. Faster than any other state in America. But the growth isn't happening where you think. It's not happening in the famous cities, it's happening in places like Westlake, Davenport, and Wesley Chapel. Cities that most people have never heard of. Cities that are being built or rebuilt right now. Let me recap quickly. Westlake, the master-planned city designed from scratch in Palm Beach County. 630% growth, everything new, everything intentional. Homes starting in the 300s, a 15-acre adventure park, schools, shops, and infrastructure all planned and built together. It's the Florida city of the future, and it's being built right now. Davenport, the accidental boomtown between Orlando and Tampa. 90% growth, infrastructure catching up, affordability still there. For now, 100 families moving in every month. New city hall, new fire station, new community center. It's not finished, but that's the opportunity. And Wesley Chapel, the stealth suburb north of Tampa. 24% growth. Balanced, complete. Quietly becoming one of the most desirable places in the region. 2 hospitals, high median income, top schools. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. These aren't perfect cities. Westlake is still being built. Davenport is still figuring out traffic. Wesley Chapel is dealing with school capacity. But that's exactly the point. These cities aren't finished. They're in motion. They're becoming. And that's where the opportunity is, because in 5 years, when they are finished, the prices won't look like this anymore. The inventory won't be this available. The chance to get in early will be gone. The secret will be out. And the people who moved there in 2025 will be the ones who got in before everyone else figured it out. If this video shifted how you think about where to move in Florida, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you heard of any of these cities? Are you considering a move to one of them? Or did I miss a hidden gem that you think deserves to be on this list? I'm always looking for the next Westlake or Davenport, the next place that's growing faster than anyone realizes. And if this resonated with you, if you're tired of the same old advice about moving to Miami or Orlando, hit that like button. It helps more people find information like this. Real information. Data-driven, myth-busting, actually useful information. Subscribe if you want more content like this, because I'm not done. There are more Florida secrets to uncover, more growth stories that nobody's telling, and I'm going to keep digging until we find them all. Thanks for watching, and welcome to the Florida that's still being built.